Hey everyone, and welcome to this new video. So today I finally gonna talk to you about my new server for my Homelab. So it is a AMD EPYC server, and I spent a lot of money on this one. So you see the 2U3 with 7.6 gigabytes, so that's quite some storage there, and it's U.3. And I take two of them, so I can have a red, and basically if one fail, I still have the data, so that's fine. And I also have three NVMe 4 terabytes, so that's quite some storage in here. And I have some fan from Arctic, so they send me quite a few things here. I'm gonna show you throughout the video. A lot of different fans. So as you can see, there is for server fans, P14 Max as well. I'm going to show you after. I make quite some change. To be honest, I did this video 3 months ago. I did a few changes, and I will tell you at the end of this video. I have this massive heatsink from Arctic. It is a beauty, and is is flawless. It is very powerful. My temp is very low on my CPU, and I'm very amazed with that. And talking of the CPU, that is a AMD EPYC. This is a massive CPU. I mean, it's a server CPU, but still it's a big one. So you have something to cool, I suppose. Should I show you the motherboard? I'm gonna show you the P14 Max. They send me quite a lot, and I'm gonna put it on the case. So I have the case I sent you in the previous video, and I'm gonna replace all the fan with all of this LAD air. So that's gonna be cool, literally. So next I have this little adapter for the U3 drive, So I'm gonna plug this to PCIe, and that is a graphic card. So I have to be honest with you, I replace it now because I didn't manage to get this ARC working on Proxmox and working mostly with Plex. And I have this docks for, it's a PCI card. You need PCIe bifurcation to work, and you can connect 4 NVMe drive to it. And you have the same from Asus, so you can connect on the 4 NVMe drive to PCIe. You need a PC bifurcation, and I have this fancy PCU, which is platinum rating, so it's quite good. And I have this awesome motherboard from Supermicron, and I love it because you have BMC and EPMA management. So it's basically like a KVM. You can have access to your computer using a browser, and you can turn it off, turn it on, see what's going on, and even have access to the screen, mouse, and keyboard, so it's perfect. I don't know why they put the motherboard on top of the padding and not inside to protect it, but whatever. So I have the EO shield over here, and I'm gonna show you the build in a minute. The video should be quite long, so you might have to skip a bit. Anyway, just gonna show you through it. That's the case I showed you on the previous video, so if you want to have a quick look on the old video, you can have a look. It's a short video anyway. And I love this case. I know it's not a server grade case, and it's not usually used for server. It's more maybe a gamer or something case, but I have to admit I love it. It's one, very beautiful, and it's very cool to have a lot of fun inside. And after 3 months now, I can tell you the temperature inside are amazing, and I cannot even hear the fan. So it's very a nice case, and I'm very not regretting going through this case. And you have this nice wood panel on front, so that's actually quite nice. I kind of like it, to be honest. I'm gonna remove all the fan though, and gonna put the Arctic fan inside. And I'm just gonna show you from this perspective. So you have the XL case actually. Sorry, I can't talk anymore. I originally got the XL, and then I canceled it and take the smaller one, which I was regretting at the start. Then actually it's fine. You just can put one fan more on the XL, but honestly, with the fan flow as current, is actually perfect. I don't need more, so that's fine. It's not so small anyway, this one, so that's perfect. So I'm gonna replace all that fan, as I said, so I'm gonna fast forward a bit, but you don't have to if you're going for the similar build. I think this fan from Fractal are actually very good. So let me skip ahead a bit. Just gonna remove all of them. And by the way, I'm gonna install Proxmox, and I'm gonna use some TrueNAS on virtualization as well for making a NAS. And you have a lot of cable management, as you can see here. So that's good. I don't have support for USB-C on this case though, but I mean, no, there is USB-C on the case, but not on the motherboard, should I say, which you could expect for server motherboard anyway. So I'm gonna plug this fan. So it's actually quite easy to do a nice cable management on this one, even though I didn't do a great job, but I went quite fast. So I'm gonna put two P14 Max Air. I did put another one at the bottom, but then I ended up removing it, and the temp was very good still. So you don't really have to. I guess you could if you want to. If you wanted to. This one fits just fine, as you can see. This taking consideration as well that these fans are a bit thicker, so I end up moving them afterwards in the back of the case, because otherwise it was touching sometimes the wood panel. But otherwise, please remember the airflow. So I'm gonna have the airflow coming in the case, obviously from the back, and then I'm gonna have some other fan on the top and on the fan as well, extracting the air from the other side, just next to the CPU cooler. So that's gonna be quite handy. And yes, that's it. Fan-wise, I'm gonna show you the CPU cooler after, obviously. And coming back to the graphic card, so I swapped it because I couldn't manage to install on Proxmox, as I said, and I ended up getting a NVIDIA P2000, I believe, so a Quadro one, and it worked flawless for transcoding and everything, so actually it's very good. I'm not regretting it. It's perfect, I think, if you look at the stats for transcoding, and I don't do anything else. Actually, I try to do some Olama and stuff like this, and it worked fine as well. So that's the motherboard itself. I'm supposed to use an anti-static tool, but I never use any of this, and I never had any issue. I usually build the whole thing inside the case, but this time I'm gonna do the opposite, as the manual say I should anyway. So you have Ethernet and one Ethernet dedicated for management. You have VGA, but I'm not gonna use it at all, so you don't need a screen. You have the management system anyway online, which is very good. And don't forget the password, because it's a dedicated password on the motherboard. I was looking for it for quite a while before figuring out. So that is documentation for the cooler. As you can see, there's two fans on the cooler, and it's taking the airflow from the back of the case and moving towards the front, where I'm gonna add an extractor as well, as I said earlier. The installation is quite easy, actually. Just went air through the dock. You have different support, but this is for the AMD SP3 on my case, because the processor I have. So don't go too crazy on with the bolt and everything, but is a very decent heatsink, or should I say a fan for your CPU. So you have this guy here. I'm gonna show you if you can see it. One sec. So here it is. Don't forget to remove the plastic part, obviously, but there's a big warning on it. You not forgot it. And I have some thermal paste as well. They sent me from Arctic again. You could use, I suppose, a pad or liquid metal, but I don't know about liquid metal, to be honest. I never use it, and I'm a bit worried about it, even though people say it's fine. I'm just gonna stick to the paste that Arctic sent me, and I actually quite like it. It's very good. So anyway, So I'm gonna set up this motherboard and this CPU. This is quite handy, so that's the tool I'm using now. You need a torque to sell the CPU, to seal the CPU, so I say. And be careful now because you don't want to have too much pressure. You could buy a specific screwdriver that would tell you exactly the torque you need to use. And there is a specific pattern to follow to mount the CPU. So make sure you read the notice if you want to do the same build. I never bother with notice, but for this time I did because I never used a SP3 socket before. And although it's quite easy, I don't know, I just wanted to make sure. As you can see, I'm doing a terrible job right now, actually. So inside of this plastic thing, you can see the actual password I was talking to you about for the management. So make sure you don't lose it. And I'm gonna install the CPU, this massive CPU. And funny enough, you don't have to remove the plastic bit on the CPU. So anyway, you just have to sliding in air, and we should be fine. So I'm gonna close it and put so a good pressure on it, but not too much. And again, follow the documentation on it because there's a specific pattern. I'm gonna then set up the past. So let me fix it first. Should be good. Did you guys ever use AMD EPYC before? Like, let me know in the comment because I'm quite surprised. I never used any of them, to be honest, in the past, and I'm still quite shocked by the size of it. Again, it's a enterprise grade, so it's expected, but anyway. So I'm just gonna fix this, and is actually a bit more challenging than I thought, but not too hard neither. So there's 3 screws to do, and you have to follow a specific pattern. Again, I'm gonna say that again, but just make sure you do. And then I'm gonna the thermal pad or the thermal gel. I'm not sure you should say in English. Anyway, I'm gonna do that just after. And you don't have to go through this config, but I can tell you now after a few months using it, first is brilliant. 2, in terms of electricity usage with my Proxmox and everything, about 100 watt. So I guess it's a bit, but it's not too bad for a server. Not too bad at all, should I say. You can go for a cheaper PCU, I suppose. You don't have to go for a Platinum Courser, but keep in mind that will make a difference in terms of power usage. Not a big one, but still. So that's probably not the best way to do applying the past, but you can follow some video online. For once, I suppose more is actually best. So for once, you can go nuts, but not too nuts neither. I'm gonna do some horrible little dot air. As you can see, it's a terrible job. Shame on me. But it's a massive CPU, so you want to cover the whole thing. That should be fine, I suppose. And I'm gonna install the heatsink on the mobile. And again, you want to be careful about screwing the heatsink. So I'm gonna do that quickly now. Fast forward a little bit. As you can see, here is a beautiful heatsink with 2 fans. You have actually an arrow on the heatsink tell you which way to go. So this one is the intake, and the other side it should be the attack, and that's gonna go straight to the back of the case, and I'm gonna put another extractor there. So that's gonna be super perfect. And there's a splitter to connect both sides to one cable. Although this motherboard, I think, have 6 or 7 fan intake or whatever. Anyway, that is the U.3 adapter to PCIe. So I'm gonna connect 2 of them, as I say, I'm gonna do the effects read after that to make sure I don't lose any data. So that's gonna be mostly for Proxmox and also for Plex. And I'm gonna add U.2, so 3, 4 terabyte U.3, U.MVU. Oh my god, I can't talk anymore. So that's gonna be for my TrueNAS servers. I'm gonna install in a VM. So I'm not gonna show you the graphic card because I say I swap it. So I'm not gonna show you the ARC installation. Not great filming, by the way. Sorry for that. Anyway, I'm gonna install this PSU, sorry. And by the way, this PSU have pretty nice function to look for the voltage and the power usage and everything. But I didn't find any way to set up on this motherboard. So if you find a way, please let me know because it seems quite cool. But I'm just monitoring using a smart plug anyway. But I saw some lads who do some nice config online with Grafana and everything to see exactly what's going on. So that could be quite handy. And again, you don't have to go for this specific and pricey PCU. Again, that's a Corsair HX1000i and is a platinum grading. And as you can see now, I have to insert the PSU. I had to remove one SD, so hard drive thing on the bottom because otherwise it wouldn't fit. But I don't have any hard drive anywhere. I only have a solid state drive. So I'm gonna install all the fan on this case. So on the top, and that's the Asus PCIe to NVMe drive. So you can fit 4 of them. So just gonna fast forward. That's the other one, which is actually quite nice. As you can see, there's a fan on it. You can turn it on or off, and you actually have an adapter you need to connect to power it. So the Asus don't need it, but this one do. Actually, I think it works without. And you have the LED in the back, so it can tell you which drive I connected. And I do love this format because it's actually kind of hot swap, although they're not really hot swap, but you can easily remove any drive. So I have a lot of drive I'm gonna use, but I'm gonna stick to the 3x4 terabyte for now. So I'm gonna fast forward a little bit, but as you can see, it's quite a nice design because you can quickly access to the drive if you need to. I must be honest with you. I had some issues. Sometimes I detect 1, sometimes 2, sometimes 3, and so on. So I end up changing it and putting straight to the motherboard because there's 2 NVMe slot in there. And I use a PCIe to NVMe adapter from the same brand to use the last one. But I think is a misconfiguration on my side. You need to have PCIe bifurcation in order to have that working. So I did 4.4.4.4. Make sure you have it if you want to use this card because otherwise it won't work, and it's obviously depend on your PC lane as well. But with this EPYC I have plenty. And that's the super fancy management tool I was talking to you about. You can basically do everything here. You have access to all the sensors. You have the IP address of the BMC. So the BMC would be this chip to control this computer. So basically, it's going to turn on your computer after checking everything is fine. You see the CPU here, and you have the memory. I had some issue receiving the memory, so I only have 2 of them for now, but that's plenty for my usage anyway. I've been using it for 3 months and I have no issue whatsoever. PCU, again, I couldn't figure out how to connect the PCU, so I don't have the data here. Just gonna show you all the thing I showing here. So you have the sensors, CPU 16 degrees. I have to say it's totally amazing. Like I never saw something like this before. So quite amazed with this CPU heatsink I have from Arctic. Otherwise you have all those data there. As you can see, you have also the possibility to set up the fan. So it's set on optimal speed. You can set heavy speed or full speed and standard speed, but you can go through different control, unfortunately. And the GPU was not plugged at the time of this video, so you won't see it, but it's quite handy. You can see every kind of error with the motherboard and everything, something you wouldn't see with a normal PC, I suppose. The storage there wasn't connected at the time, but it would show error, I suppose. You have the physical view, logic view, controller view, task view, and everything. And CNMP sensors and user management, so you can set alert as well, sorry. And you have all setting as well. The good thing as well is you can set up USB device, like a USB key, basically straight from your computer, from your client, and you would go to the host. So you don't actually have to be next to the server to install something or anything. You can just upload it here. So that's all the BMC setup, but basically what you want to see is remote control. So I'm going to show you that in a sec. And IPME configuration, so that would be the software itself to remote access this, so you can upgrade the firmware from here, and so you can for the motherboard BIOS. So I'm gonna launch remote control. As you can see, you have full access to the screen and the mouse and the keyboard. You can turn it off, reset everything. So that's quite handy. I didn't install Proxmox yet, sorry. You have the keyboard, you can set to US International or to anything else. I'm gonna try to boot from the BIOS, so I think it's escape or probably delete actually. It should tell you in a minute. So let's see. Take a while because the BMC have to make sure everything is okay first before turning on the actual computer. So there's a few delay and in which the fan going full speed as well. So it's a bit noisy just at start. And here is the BIOS. So if I move, we can probably see that is entering setup. Just pressing delete just to make sure. Here we go, entering setup. So it should be fine. Actually, what I might do is show you the iOS app, because they do have an official iOS app. So I should do that. It takes a while for it anyway. So that's the app from iOS. As you can see, is from Supermicron. You can just connect and have access to all the sensors and everything. And you can change your password and your username. I obviously changed mine for security reason, so I'm gonna connect to it with my new password. And actually, I wonder, am I connected to the good VLAN at the moment, because it would have already find it. I'm just gonna try to enter my IP range, but that probably is the wrong video saying that. I'm gonna try anyway. Yeah, I'd say I'm on the wrong VLAN, so let me change the VLAN. And because it should detect automatically the motherboard, obviously, if I'm on the good VLAN. And yeah, here we go. So now I'm on the correct VLAN, and as you can see, it's detected. I have the EPYC device, which would give me access to basically power off, reset, and everything. And you have all the other settings as well, like the sensors. And as you can see, 16 degrees for my CPU, quite amazing. Just gonna do a screenshot here because quite perfect. And you have all the other sensors, as you can see. Worst I have here is 30 degrees, so not too bad at all. The fan speed in RPM, and the voltage for the rest. And you can do everything else. Power supply, I don't have it connected, so it won't give me much info. I'm gonna put all the ATM in the description, so you have a look of them if you want to set up something similar. it's quite easy to put it together if you know what you're doing. That is the build now. So as I tell you, I changed the GPU, sorry. So you can see the P2000 Air is only taking 1 slot, so it's quite good compared to the arcade before, who was taking 2 slots. But otherwise, it's great. I changed some of the fan. You have the U.3 Air, and you have this GPU there. I changed this one for P12, I believe, and you have 2 of them of the P14 Air, and we have 2 other one on the top, and the airflow is just brilliant. Anyway, that's all for this video. I hope it could be kind of helpful or entertaining. If you go into changing your Homelab yourself, please let me know your current thing. I'm very curious about it, and see you next time. Bye.